Hi, and welcome to my channel, Changing Phases Tarot. I'm so happy to have you here with me today. Today's reading is a monthly reading for May 2025 for the air sign of Libra. For the reading Libra, I'm using the Pride Tarot deck, pulling an additional Oracle card message from the Sacred Travelers deck, and if I need to clarify, I'll be using the Zealot Tarot. Just a reminder, these are general readings, so the messages may or may not resonate. I encourage you to watch not just your sun sign video, but also your moon and rising. That way you'll have a more complete overview of the energy surrounding you this month. Also, if you do enjoy the reading, please consider giving it a thumbs up, right? Giving it a like, subscribing to the channel. That really would mean a lot and would also help the channel. So I appreciate each and every one of you. Okay, here we go. So at the center of your spread, Libra, you have the Chariot. Wow, starting off strong. This is Major Arcana number 7. The Chariot is associated with the water sign of Cancer, and it is a card of victory, right? But it's a victory that has been, it's a hard one, like hard fought for victory. So, not one that has come easily. So you've stuck with something, right? But ultimately, so you coming out victorious. Yeah, this is Major Arcana. This is a strong way to start the month. So we have victory, and it is crossed by what could help or hinder it. We have the Nine of Wands, which is, you can see it is wounded here. It's oftentimes referred to as the Wounded Warrior card. And the Suit of Wands, fire energy, has to do with the work we do. It can be creative projects and endeavors. It's also our own drive, determination, passion, ambition for the things that we do in life, right? And, this Nine of Wands, much like you can see here, even though he is wounded, he's been to battle, right? He's been through quite a lot. He's still there standing. So, sometimes this Nine of Wands shows up when there is like one last hurdle, one last obstacle that you have to face before you can finish a cycle, before one cycle ends out, because obviously nines, it's nearly the 10 of Wands, it's the end of a cycle, right? It's a new cycle would begin back with the Ace. So you're nearing the end of something, but there might be one last obstacle that you have to face. So without crossing the Chariot, yeah, there's victory at hand, but there might might still be something that might pop up unexpectedly that you have to deal with, but ultimately, victory is at hand. In the deep past, foundation of your reading, you have the Queen of Cups. So water energy could be dealing with a more mature water sign individual. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio could be a mother figure, your own mother of your children, or just, it's not gender specific, just an older, it's a more mature energy, right? And water, the Suit of Cups, water energy, it has to do with our feelings, emotions, relationships. It's also, this queen, she's very emotionally balanced, she's very loving, loves to take care of her family. She's very in tune with her emotions. She's also very intuitive as well. So, could be intuition, could be important. Sits in the deep past. You could have been, again, dealing with this person in the deep past. We'll see, as we go through the rest. I'll put the rest of the reading down and we'll see how everything ties in. We have Two of Wands in the recent past. So a choice, right? A choice to be made, possibly to do with your career, the work that you do, creative project or endeavor, but it's you. It's a very empowered energy, right? It's you standing at this crossroads and looking down each path, and you're the one who's going to make the decision as to which way you go. So, much like I was saying with this Nine of Wands, right? I've already talked about the Suit of Wands itself, but the two has to represent a choice, represents a choice of, going this, should I stay in this job or head in this new direction? Should I go with this one option or go this, with the other ones? But it's you making the decision. Different than the Two of Swords, which is, needing to make a decision, but thinking that you are incapable of doing so or do not have all the information you need. With the Two of Wands, you have the information, you are making that decision. Crowning your reading, you have the Four of Pentacles. The Four of Pentacles, sometimes it's referred to as like the Miser card. It's, you can see he's clutching here the coins. It can represent a need to, or represent a focus on your finances. So, wanting to hold on to what you have been able to save, or just being overly concerned with at this time with the money that, how you're earning your money, the money that you have in the bank. But, with the Four of Pentacles, there is sort of the cautionary message where we don't need to hold on to our money that tightly, or financial possessions, because when we do so, it becomes stagnant, right? There's a need for like money to flow. We need to maintain that money, the flow around money. So, we go to work, we earn money, and then we use the money to pay our bills. We try to put some money aside, and then more money comes in again. So there's this sort of constant flow. When we close off that flow, right, by holding on too tightly, money, now we might not be technically losing any money, but also we might be hindering or preventing money from coming in. So money seems to be, this sort of key on your mind in the month of May. You have Major Arcana number 8, the Strength card, and the Strength card is associated with the sign of Leo. So this is fire energy. And it's about having that inner strength, drive, determination to face whatever it is that might be coming in, that you might need to face. You appear in the reading as the Wheel of Fortune. So this is Major Arcana number 10, and the Wheel of Fortune, it's a very karmic energy, but it's, sometimes we are on the downturn of the swing. So, things might have been quite difficult, might have been experiencing, challenges, and going back to this Nine of Wands at the center of the spread. Yeah, if you have, right, that is the case, the Wheel of Fortune comes in to say that, things are now changing. So the wheel is turning, you're going to start seeing things going your way. And, with the wheel, it's all about maintaining your balance, right? So maintaining the balance while all of these changes are happening. But change is coming in. I mean, it's a very powerful card for you to show up as this Wheel of Fortune. Surrounding you in your environment, you have the Queen of Wands. So more Wands energy here. Another Queen, so could be dealing with an older fire sign individual, Leo, Sagittarius, Aries. She's very dynamic. She's very creative. She's also this sort of go-getter. She's very, obviously, like Wands, it's fire energy. So she's a very fiery individual, but she's headstrong. She's not afraid to, if there's a new project to start up, she'll head in that direction. She's very charismatic. She's also typically very attractive. Could be, just a month where there's a focus on your outward appearance with this showing up. But if it's you taking on I can't speak today, sorry. If you are taking on the energy of the Queen of Wands, then, you could just be going after or facing whatever these changes are, or whatever this hurdle is, this obstacle, just, head on, right? Just facing them head on, not afraid, just tackling whatever it is that might be coming in. You have in the hopes and fears, the Six of Cups. Sometimes this card shows up when you are reconnecting with people from the past. It can be going back to, like, obviously we have this child here, so it's to do with your childhood, going back to places where where you used to live when you were a child, reconnecting with people from the child. It's also past life energy. So, reconnecting with people that you have past life connections with. It's a sort of soulmate energy. It's the Suit of Cups, so it's, much like I was saying over here with the Queen of Cups, it's water energy, but there is a past life connection. So you're hoping for possibly reconnecting with people from the past, or it could be going back to, if it's going back to work with people we're going back to where you used to work. But there's something to do with the past with the Six of Cups showing up. The Five of Swords is the outbound energy here. So it's, it's a card of conflict. It's a card of sort of going to battle, but it's about, you can see he's holding this sword, the sword of truth, where he's holding like the Ace of Swords. So it's about having or finding that clarity of mind, or, understanding some type of truth, even in a difficult situation. And we'll clarify. Bottom of the deck, you have the Three of Wands. So you have the Two of Wands showing up in the recent past. Three of Wands, so you've made the decision to head in one direction versus another, or to go with one job versus another, whatever that choice might have been. And now it's like you're standing on the cliff tops, you're looking out to sea, waiting for your ships to come in, is how it's typically represented. So there can be an overseas component, right? There might be connecting with people who are at a distance. There might be travel across the sea, right? So some type of international connection with this Three of Wands. But it's also, as a 3, it's expansive energy, so growth potential with this Three of Wands. Let's go ahead and clarify. I'll clarify the 9 of Wands at the center of the spread. Clarify the 4 of Pentacles, and we'll clarify the 5 of Swords. So Spirit, clarify some of the messages here for Libra. Clarifying just additional messages for Libra for the month of May. What is the 4 of Pentacles, 9 of Wands, and the 5 of Swords? Oops. Okay, well, that one wanted to come on, so we'll take that one like that. Divide the deck. Okay, so this card, clarifying the 9 of Wands. We have the Ace of Discs. So this is the Ace of Pentacles. So this is, yeah, and there's, again, the 9 of Wands is clarifying the Chariot, which is a card of success. But I said there might be one last obstacle, one last hurdle you might need to face. But ultimately, there's an offer coming in, right? The Ace of Discs is, aces are yes cards. They're blessings from the universe. So if you've been waiting for an answer, here's your yes. But it's a, this could be a new offer, a new job offer coming in, a new way for you to make money. It could be a lump sum of money coming in. But, there could have been a delay, or you might have, might need to, when it's like, for example, if you find out that there's an inheritance that you're going to be inheriting, right? A lump sum of money. And that's great, but you have to do this. There are all these sort of, legal or bureaucratic steps that you need to take before you can get it. So it's like that one last thing you have to do, and you might be tired and it might be difficult, and but ultimately, it's worth it. There's an offer there. There's a lump sum of money. There's, it is a positive energy, right? It's a blessing coming in from the universe. Clarifying the 4 of Pentacles, you have the 7 of Swords, futility. And this can be, the 7 of Swords, it can be, it can be a card of conflict as well. It can be, this deck shows it quite differently, right? But the 7 of Swords can, in the traditional tarot, it can show somebody walking or leaving with 2 swords, right? Leaving behind 5 swords, but walking away with the 2 swords. It does represent like maybe not planning everything as well as you could have done, because he wasn't able to take all 7 swords away with him. So there's sort of this lack of planning. But it's also about, like not giving in to, and especially in this particular deck, it's called futility, so it's kind of like, you can see the woman, she has her arm across her, like not really wanting to, across her face, not wanting to face the reality of life, right? Even though there's all these beautiful flowers surrounding her, she's not paying attention to those. So it's about not allowing destructive thoughts to take over, right? Even when things are starting to improve, which, clarifying this 4 of Pentacles, there could be, you've managed to save up this sum of money, but, you might not be viewing it as sort of positive that you've been able to do that. You're only worried about, if you have been through difficult financial times in the past, you're worried about the money running out or not having enough money. So, not allowing yourself to get into this sort of negative thinking. And then 5 of Swords is clarified by the 6 of Swords, which is a card of victory. The 6 of Swords, it can also represent leaving behind choppy waters, heading into calmer waters. So moving out of a more difficult time into a better time, right? A calmer time. It can also represent movement, moving across water, travel. So I was saying that as well with the 3 of Wands. So for some of you, there could be travel. It's also a card of the 6 of Swords. It's moving on, right? So it's leaving something behind, and it is progression here. So we have the 5 of Swords, and it's clarified by the 6. So there is movement, right? There's movement. So I get that and we have the 7. So you actually, 5, 6, 7 different decks here, but 5, 6, 7. So there's progression here. So whatever difficult times you've experienced, it's like you are moving through them. You are moving on. There is improvement. Don't allow yourself to fall back into any type of negative thinking. Let's go ahead and get one additional message for you from the Oracle card deck. One additional message for Libra. What else does Libra need to hear for the month of May? One additional message for Libra. Okay, we'll do one last shuffle here. And your additional message is transformation. A fresh new way of living emerges. Beautiful. Yeah, and we have obviously the Phoenix there. Let me go ahead and read you the main message from the guidebook. So it says, you're in a time of huge transformation. Old beliefs, ideas, and decisions about who you are and what you deserve in life are dropping away, replaced by incredible vitality and new pathways. Soon you'll be experiencing the world in a fresh new way. The journey transforms the traveler. When the traveler arrives at the destination, the traveler is no longer the same person who started out. Even if there are some areas that may be murky or unsettled in your life, don't be concerned. This is the confusion that often appears before the rebirth. Like the phoenix that arises majestically from the ashes, a big change in your life is at hand. Don't hold on to old ways of viewing the world and limited ways of thinking. Be willing to see the world with fresh new eyes. Changes are afoot, and it's also very good, definitely. And, going back to the center of the spread, you do have the Chariot. That's what is at the center of your month, which is the card of victory. But it's also movement and travel and traveling across land. And we had the traveling with the 6 of Swords, traveling across water. So this could be travel, it could be a month of travel, but definitely success, right? And not allowing a transformation, not allowing yourself to fall into this sort of negative thinking, thinking on what hasn't worked out in the past, just moving forward. So it's a fresh new way of life emerges. Beautiful. So I hope the messages have helped. I thank you for joining me today. I look forward to reading for you again. And just know that I'm sending you much peace, love, and light for a wonderful month of May. Bye for now.